Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. My throat's a little bit sore, and I was thinking maybe I won't do a cast today, but then I saw this replay and I knew I had to cast it. It's the map Lost and Found. It's a Terran versus Zerg, spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing for the team Titan X. It is Bunny, the Korean pro gamer Bunny, and his opponent, spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, the Monster Zerg, playing for Team Asterion. It is soO. And the reason why I thought I've got to cast this game is because for those of you that don't know, or for those of you that do follow the StarCraft 2 scene, but maybe aren't familiar with the matchups, in the GSL Super Tournament, which is one of the StarCraft events that we get in the year, one of the big important ones, it is one of the matchups is actually going to be soO versus Bunny in the round of 16. So these two guys are going to be playing in a very important tournament, and I thought I'd do this as like a bit of a prelude. I was like, maybe I won't cast a game, but then I saw this and I thought, well, we gotta see. This is a prelude to this awesome tournament that's upcoming, and the game should be just as good in this. So it's a Terran versus Zerg. I mean, historically, soO, a very solid player. You might think that he'll be able to deflect anything that Bunny throws up at him, but Bunny has had some pretty high peaks. He's a very solid Terran player, and I mean, you don't be a pro and not be good at the game. So we'll see what he's able to do versus soO. But yeah, it should be a good match here. Now, Lost and Found, I mean, pretty flushed out maps. Generally, all the races are pretty happy with this one. I think it can be good or bad depending on what sort of style you play. I mean, the bases can be pretty easy to defend, but there's equal opportunity really in order to be able to hit any location. Now, soO's moving out with his links. He did get that quicker pool, so he's going to try and do that annoying little delay on the command center, but it is just 2 Zerglings that he's sending across the map. The Reaper's going to move out, but most Terrans these days are being very safe, making that 1 Marine instead of just going right into the reactor. And this game, Bunny's actually going to be doing a 2-1-1, so we'll see what soO's able to get in, whether he'll be able to identify the build or delay the command center. Is Bunny paying attention? Looks like this SCV is going to run. Some more SCVs should be pulled. Actually, just 1 more being pulled here, but Bunny actually does force back these lings. Base is going to get to mining. The Reaper's actually coming back for Bunny, so he's not getting anything on this side of the map, but he may be able to find the lings. And most importantly, soO didn't identify what sort of build it was. I mean, he just got up. He's coming in with the Overlord now, but he may have to sacrifice this Overlord. He's going to see the factory, and he's a very good player, so he'll know this factory is just a tiny bit delayed, so he'll likely be able to tell this is a 2-on-1. He should get out with the Overlord. I mean, it may be a little bit close. He's taken a bit of a beating here, but should be fine now. The 2 lings did make it out, and the Bunny, or the Reaper for Bunny, is still searching for him. He knows they're out there. He wants them, but regardless, the power of the 2-1-1 isn't necessarily the surprise element as it was when the first build came out. It's really the element of... pardon me. Okay, guys, this is kind of embarrassing. I just realized that there's no sound for this cast, so I'm going to quickly fix that, and we'll be back in a second. All right, so that was a little embarrassing. I mean, fortunately, I did realize, I thought, wait a second, that green bar that usually shows the game sound isn't going up, so you guys did just have to put up with me casting for a minute without any game sounds, but now we're properly into this game. It's because I started, I changed from using my speakers to my headphones, so OBS doesn't like that. But anyway, we've now got game sound, we've now got these builds. They're eventually going to sort of hit their climax. Eventually we'll have the clash from the 2-1-1. These 2 lings still out on the map. The Reaper, he's got like a vendetta against these, trying to find them. He will find them, but I don't know if I think a Reaper does beat 2 Zerglings if microed correctly, but the lings are faster, so they can just run away. This is quite a game of cat and mouse right now. So now Bunny, he is going to be getting ready for this drop, and he is going to be following this up with siege tanks, interestingly enough. Not going for widow mines or anything like that, but soO, on the other side of the map, is actually playing roaches. A lot of Zergs do prefer just that 32 Zerglings, which is usually the magic number, more or less depending on the queens and the positioning and whatnot. But soO is making a lot of roaches. 10 is a very good number in order to deal with the 2-on-1. Ling's actually getting for some harassment for soO. Some SCVs do go down. So far we've seen 3 fall this game. The Reaper and Marine should be able to force us back, but this is a very classic thing to do for the Zerg, is hit as the 2-on-1 does move out. So it's a bit of a bummer for Bunny not to have that wall up. I mean, he probably should have had that completed if you're moving out with your 2-on-1 drop, and now he's going to go in, but soO should be prepared for this, as he is going into these roaches, and he is going to be playing this Roach Ravager style from the looks of it. Starting that +1 attack, starting that Carapace. Bunny now getting his wall up, but his sort of timing has been messed up just a little bit. But, I mean, Stim Marines are pretty good. They can always try and get something. Looks like he will get an Overlord here. Going to deny a Creep Tumor scan, pick off a few more. Creep is pretty important, as roaches aren't that mobile. Now he is going to dive into the main base. We'll see if Bunny's able to get anything else. Maybe just another Overlord and then get out. Looks like that is what he'll be going for. Now he's just going to load up and get on out. Now soO, on the other hand, is possibly just going to be going for a big Roach timing attack. This is why it's important that Bunny is making those siege tanks. I mean, there's a bit more variety than they used to be. The fact that Zergs go Hydras, it used to pretty much just always be Roach all-in or Lingbane Muta. Now players can sort of have more longevity on the Roaches. They can also go for a Hydra Lingbane. So siege tanks are pretty important for Terran these days. Now Bunny is going to be loading up another drop, so he's going to be hitting that multi-prong drop. And if a player can execute this, I think it really does get good value, as I mean, more and more drops coming in as long as you keep the units. And Lost and Found, it's not that small of a map, so it does take time if soO does go for a counterattack or something like that. And he's trying to get this creep back up again. We'll see if Bunny's out, but he's actually going to be going into the main base right now with all this bio. I mean, there's a Medivac there, there's a few units, but he may just be trying to catch his opponent off guard. We'll see what he can get. He's going to unload. There's the Spore Crawler here, the real MVP. Roach is coming on in for soO, so I think that's maybe a bit of an overcommitment for Bunny, but I mean, he's unloading all of these units. We'll see what he can get. He's trading, he's picking off drones, and he is picking off a good number of drones. He loses a Medivac, but like I said, he got a few there. I mean, he got 5, segmenting off that small portion of Marines to pick off some of the drones. He denied mining a fair bit. Now, whether that was the best choice for Bunny is a different question, as I mean, he could have tried going for multi-prong attacks, but right now it looks like soO, he's getting a little antsy, may want to go for an attack or catch this army off guard, and we'll see, is Bunny going to be able to get this? Needs to be paying attention, can't afford to lose a Medivac or really any units. Now he's just sharking around, there's no anti-air for soO. +2 Carapace on the way for soO, so he really is just building up this Roach Ravager. Is Bunny going to be ready for this? I mean, he's going to have 3 siege tanks. He's got a good bit of bio. As long as he's ready for this and gets in position, it really does prevent the Roaches just from diving on top. soO is going to be hitting from multiple angles, or it looks like he'll be going into the 3rd, which I think will work out better for Bunny. Now, there's a lot of tanks here, so the question is, will soO be able to break this? A wall has also been started, and I mean, tanks are pretty good versus Roaches. Bunny's actually going for a counter drop, so if he can hold while dealing adequate damage here on the other side of the map, it's going to be very important. SCVs are pulled. This is the right move for Bunny. Tanks dealing so much damage while all this is going on, racking up these kills on these clumped up Roaches. He's now cutting back. Stimbile, pretty efficient at trading with just Roaches and Raptors, but the army count is being thinned out. Is Bunny going to be able to hold while dealing damage on the other side of the map? He's actually picking off a lot of workers. The main base for soO seems to be sacked, and there's just not enough to deal with this. I mean, Roaches are going to engage. Now, can Bunny hold? He needs to lift this, get this tank sieged immediately. He may have to pull SCVs again, but he's doing a lot of damage on the other side of the map, trading constantly. soO may be able to solidify, but neither player is getting out of this unscathed. Can Bunny hold on is the question. SCVs being pulled once again. Is he going to have enough? There's 4 Ravagers, but that number is thinning out, but so is the number of Roaches. I mean, this is so close. The Marauders trying to hold on as 3 Ravagers versus some bio. I mean, both players down on workers, but it is 3 CC for Bunny, so mules are pretty good. He's now also going to get these Ravagers, which is very nice. And I think he may still have some units to drop here. Even picking off another drone or 2 is very important. Now, soO drops below that 40 mark. So we'll see. Is soO going to go for a follow-up attack? Mules are dropping for Bunny, so his economy's not too bad. He'll want to transfer some workers here. But we'll see. I mean, soO is still just on this Roach tech. He's re-droning up. Now this Medivac teasing soO a little bit. Queen's going to come in and shoo that away. May actually lose the Medivac. You don't want to do that, Bunny. Alright, he is going to get out with that medevac. He's now building up in supply. Now, Bunny did start 2-2. soO's going to have his 1-2, but so Bunny will have an upgrade advantage. And for Bio that's trading, that's very important. But the question is the swell of roaches just going to be too big? These guys are going to meet in the middle of the map, but Bunny is very mobile at this point. His 2-2 isn't quite finished yet, but there it goes. Now finished up. So now he can trade, but he does need to kite back. He's going to have to hold at the siege tank. He's trying to get up a wall once again. But soO is looking for blood right now. He's going to be pushing on in. Tank's fighting, but Bunny isn't prepared for this. I mean, his army wasn't pre-stimmed or anything like that. He's now kiting back. It looks like that soO may just be able to break his opponent with the sheer amount of units he's got. I mean, the Bio may be a little bit better, but soO does have enough. He's got a lot of Ravagers, too, to dish out damage. Bunny's going to have to hold, and it's going to be tough right now. He's got the siege tank in the back to deal damage, and soO's going for this, but suddenly his army doesn't look that big. The Bio for Bunny is stimming forward, and there may not be enough for soO, pardon me, not Stu. These Ravagers and Roaches are going down, and suddenly I think Bunny making that hold is very important, but he's got a pretty good army right now, but his worker count is pretty low. soO's is also low, though, and when you're making Roach and Ravager, I mean, you don't want to be low on the unit count. A drop is going to be moving out for Bunny, just a small amount of units right now. He's still got that third base, though, so he can always transfer workers, float bases, so he's not in a terrible situation, but it's still not great. 2 siege tanks is also pretty important here. Going to be repositioning those. soO's coming in once again. This attack does get spotted. There's 2 tanks to hold on this time. Bunny also has this counter attack moving in at the 4th base, which is very important. This mineral line is exposed, so if Bunny can hold and soO's not moving in, a medevac goes down, but this drop is so important right now, picking off workers. Both these guys not on great economies. Bunny, any trade that he can get is going to be absolutely massive. He's playing rather well this game. We'll see, he may be able to get a queen as well, or may just have to get on out of there. These 2 Marauders getting picked up. Going into the main base now, but soO, his economy ain't that good. Looks like these units will be forfeit. Maybe should have gotten out with them, as every unit does matter in a game like this. But so far, soO just still on this Roach Ravager. Bunny now getting into his +3 attack. If he gets there, it'll be so huge for him, but for now he just needs to bulk up. He's getting up more and more tanks, we'll see. Most importantly right now, he needs to pay attention to where soO's coming in. He's going out with another drop, and he does have this medevac out ahead to scout. So we'll see. I mean, soO wants blood. He's tried this attack again and again. Is he going to be able to make it happen? Good dodge on that medevac, but Bunny has a formidable amount of bio here to buy time for these tanks to dish out damage. He's got to be stimmed once again. More tanks getting set up. SCV is going to be pulled once again. I mean, this concave's looking pretty good for soO, though. There's a lot of tanks, but is it enough? The buffer is falling. The counterattack is going to be moving on in. Is it going to be enough for the Terran player, though? soO's really choking up into these 2 tanks. They're getting so much damage done, but Bunny's being pushed off his base. He's gonna kill off the 4th for soO, though. This game is so close. Now, can Bunny hold off? His production isn't that good right now. He's forced to abandon his natural, so he's locked in on his main base. I mean, this counter is really very important right now. The +3 attack is also on the way, so I mean, it's weird to say who the longer this game, who's it going to go better for. I mean, soO's got a lot of roaches on his side of the map. Queen's doing excellent transfuses there. May be able to shut down this drop. Bunny may just have to go home. I mean, soO also retreating home, so these guys may move back and regrow once again. I mean, Bunny, he's heading into that +3. I mean, bio's not that bad versus Roach Ravager, but soO's just making such a good quantity of it. But suddenly soO's economy isn't that good either. I mean, he's got 3 bases, but they're not very saturated. Bunny wants to get a snipe on this base, or even picking off any amount of roaches is very good. He's doing some very cute micro right now, taking a trade versus a smaller number of roaches. If he can cancel this base, it would be huge, but not quite target firing. He does get the cancel, though. Very nice, keeping some of these Marauders alive as well. So, I mean, Bunny's on a low economy, but if we look at the income, it's actually pretty equal due to the mule factor. But soO's coming in once again, and making 4 Ravagers is going to make this very scary. This could be rough for Bunny. soO's also coming in with even more Ravagers. The army supply, soO's doubling it. Bunny's done such a good job holding on right now, but only 1 tank this fight. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. SCVs are going to be pulled. He's got more bio coming forward, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. There's just so much for soO. He's just been so consistent with these attacks. He's been relentless, and suddenly I think soO's just got too much. Bunny floating into his main base, but you can't really be doing that at this stage. I mean, he's been going for more drops. He's shut down the bases, but the economy is just going to be too good, I think. soO's going to try and break up this ramp, but that's a little ambitious. Bunny holding on, but I mean, he's only got 2 mineral patches available to him. soO can pretty much just camp outside his opponent's base. The supply is too low for Bunny. I mean, mules are good, but it's 8 SCVs versus 46 drones. I mean, yeah, the economy is just a little too good for soO here. Bunny, I mean, one final fight. I mean, if he can make a miracle fight happen, he's got a tank if soO missteps or something, but it's looking pretty rough. He does have the +3 attack as well, so his army is actually better. The Ravagers, I mean, they're not that tanky. Bunny trying to hold on, but I just don't think there's going to be enough here. He fought so hard, but he's forced off the space once again, and I think that's going to be it, as he just doesn't have enough. Not much supply other than Medivacs. These 2 Marauders with a dream. I mean, soO just, this takes such commitment for a player. I mean, a lot of Zergs would panic and say, okay, I'll try and go into Hydras, I'll try and get up another base, play defensive, but no, soO just relentlessly, knowing that he's been able to make these attacks, and Bunny just not quite having enough to push it off, but I think Bunny is dead. There's the GG scans going down, and soO manages to take it, but guys, if that was sort of like a prelude to what we're gonna have, if that's a prelude to what we're going to have as far as GSL versus the world goes, or not GSL versus the world, GSL Super Tournament, I personally am hyped, so it should be a good one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'm always putting out more, trying to break that 900 subscriber mark. I'm going to say that at the end of every video until we do break it. But yeah, I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.